What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another gameplay video. Today we are going to be jumping back into some Strixhaven Standard with a mono whitelist. Before that, I just want to go ahead and mention, if you are not watching our our side series of the Pokemon Silver Randomized Nuzlocke, please go check that out. It's a really fun time. It's also a very nice little thank you to the patrons. So just as a heads up, if you don't know, we do have a Patreon. If you subscribe there to support our content, as a thank you, we send out altars that we do every single month. And so you can get free altars every month, essentially. It's a really, really fun time, in my opinion. There's some different tiers, so you can get different numbers of altars, that kind of stuff. But it's all in support of our content. We certainly appreciate that, and we certainly appreciate all the patrons who are subscribed right now and making all this possible. We really do appreciate it. But let's jump into today's deck. This is mono white, pretty straightforward list. A lot of these pieces we've had for quite a while. Obviously, the protecting spells, Selfless Savior, and then Alseid of Life's Bounty just provides you with a little bit more longevity against certain decks, especially burn, things like that. Giant Killer is in here. It deals with a good bit. Obviously Yorians, stuff like that, but Bone Crusher Giants, though a bit inefficient, it does work. And there's some other stuff, of course, that it deals with, which is just good, and it can just tap stuff down, which is nice. In this 2-drop slot, the normal culprits, we've got Luminarch Aspirant to throw some counters around, get around Heartless Act a little bit. We've got Seasoned Hallowblade. If you open up with this is a really good way to just really pressure the opponent quickly. Especially if you've got the Maul of the Skyclaves as well, but overall just a really nice aggressive card. We did add in one of the new Strixhaven cards, Professor of Symbology, which allows us to learn. It's a 2/1 for 2 that essentially draws us a card. And those cards can be any one of these 7 in our sideboard here because they are all lessons. It's nice because it just gives you further plays, and I think the downside to these mono white decks is they tend to burn out. This is a way to keep yourself going, which is great. Another new Strixhaven card, Elite Spellbinder, kind of pushes the opponent out of a card, at least for a little while. It's not perfect, they still can play it, but in particular against like a mono red deck, if you pull an Embercleave from their hand, it costs a lot. I mean, 2 more is actually a substantial amount in that matchup. And so it's pretty easy to kind of push out cards like that to make sure that you're not just going to lose outright to them. Obviously, Maul is in here as a 4 of. It's just a crazy good equipment to hopefully finish the game really quickly. And then a playset, of Skyclave Apparition to deal with some of those low drop creatures as well. That's the top of our curve. We do have 24 lands here. That seems slightly high to me. I would think we could go 22, but I am pulling this list as a starting point, and so we're going to be learning about that today. We do have Faceless Haven in here as well, so let's see how this goes. I really do like Mono White's position in the meta right now. I feel like it's very, very good. It gets a little bit more, I'll say, tools than stuff like Mono Red. I think Mono Red kind of took a hit down. It's not bad by any means, nothing changed, it just didn't really get any new tools, where I think Mono White definitely did, and I like that a lot. So, what do we have? Yeah, this is a great starting hand. Turn 1, Selfless Savior, turn 2, Professor, into a 3, either Skyclave Apparition or Elite Spellbinder. Really couldn't ask for anything better. It's about as perfect as we can get. Looks like a Yorian deck, so I'm expecting that we will be up against some sweepers. Little scary, but we'll certainly do the best we can to get around it. Let's go ahead and attack in here. We will play the Professor. And I think... It might be Academic Probation. I think this pushes the opponent a little bit further, because if they do have a sweeper, we're going to hopefully pull it with Elite Spellbinder, but then we can also just prevent them from playing a spell. Which would be quite nice, so we'll see. Alright. Let's go ahead and play the Spellbinder here, and then get in for an attack. Let's see what they've got. Binding of the Old Gods, Elspeth's Nightmare is quite scary, actually. They've got a lot of really good tools against us. Let's just make sure... View browser. Okay, so... I think it's Elspeth's Nightmare or Extinction Event, truthfully. I think for now it's Elspeth Conquers Death. And then I think we just attack in here. Don't love that. I mean, we know that going in. Sultai Sultai Control is very, very good just in general. It obviously has a lot of tools to kind of deal with stuff. And it's scary. I mean, it's very scary, but they didn't have a land, crucially. They can play the Wolf Willow Haven, of course, to beef up their lands, but we do have the Probation to be able to kind of trick around them a little bit here, so we'll see. We will see. Okay. And there is that Wolf Willow Haven, just locking them down slightly, and then they did foretell a card. Interesting. Okay. First things first, obviously we are going to attack in here. Just an easy, clean attack. No reason not to. We definitely play... actually, that might have been a mistake. That's okay. I was actually planning to play the Academic Probation, but we messed up. That was on me. Do we want to... I'm honestly not sure what to get here. Part of me wants to get the Reduced to Memory, and I think that's what I'm going to get. The reason being, they do have some scary stuff here. Like, the Binding of the Old Gods is a little bit tricky because it does get them a land, and we don't want them to get a land. We'll see what they hit here. I think it's odd, yeah. And that's fine. Kind of expected that, not a problem. We can just Probation the Binding, which sets them off. We'll say Binding of the Old Gods here. We'll attack in. I don't know what's going on. Everything is stopping, and I don't know why. I did choose attackers. Okay, there we go. Whew, all right. And I'm just going to go ahead and play out the Seasoned Hallowblade here. This Skyclave Apparition, not great against this deck. There's just not much it does. They still can't play Elspeth's Nightmare. They can't play either of the Bindings. So that negates 3 of their 6 cards, essentially, which is pretty good. Cool. That's honestly fine. It's not great. I mean, they get to draw some stuff, but they're down now to 2 mana, so the best they could have is a removal spell, and that doesn't do it. The only thing they could kill would be a Professor, which they should. But yeah, we got the win. Look at that, guys. We beat Sultai Control with Mono White. That puts our record at 1-0. A strong start for sure. Let's keep this going. Let's see if we can keep some wins flowing. I really like this deck. I like the Mono White stuff that this deck has gotten. Professor as well as Elite Spellbinder just seems... I don't know. It seems really solid. It seems really solid. Let's open up... Why do they still give you Theros Beyond Death packs? Like, what is the reason for this? I don't need this. I mean, that's a good card, but I don't need it. All right, let's jump into a game 2, guys. Hopefully we can keep getting some nice wins with this list. I do think this is very well positioned in the best of 1 ladder. Silent but deadly. You'll see his username here in a second. Perfect. But as far as like best of 3, it's probably not quite as good realistically. I think it's still a fun deck, but obviously you lose a little bit more longevity with a deck like this. Still think it's good, but let's go Alseid first. With the Luminarch Aspirant in the hand, I like going Alseid because we can get some early life gain by throwing that counter there. Looks like a white deck as well. I'm curious to see what they have. They foretold a card. Well, we're gonna Elite Spellbinder, and we'll see what they've got. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. I think we just push off the Sparring Regimen here. I think that's probably the best thing we can do. I'm gonna put, again, the counter here so we can gain extra life. It just sets us up as well as we possibly can against what they've got. That being a 5 now. Okay, they've got Heliod. That's really good. Throw this out. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep the train going. I mean, there's no reason not to. We might be able to just kill him this coming turn. We do have the Faceless Haven as well now. The reason being, obviously, I played that this turn, so we could attack with it next turn. Oh, neat. Yeah, we just give pro Alseid, and then we just get to attack in. So that was an easy, quick win. Look at that. And ranked up. I like it. Okay. Well, that was game 2. We are now 2-0. That was just a slow deck, and I think this deck is very, very good at punishing the slow decks, which is why it's so good on the best of one ladder. The control decks do have outs, obviously, like Doomscar there is very good, but because we have those tools like Alseid and like Selfless Savior, they're never as thorough as maybe you'd like them to be. I won't say never, but like if you sweep and I've got a Selfless Savior, well, I at least get to save something. And that's really, really important. Bit of a slower start here, but let's try it. Let's see how this deck does on a slow start, because we've been very on curve every single time. And not that this isn't, but it's definitely a bit slower with no turn 1 play and no protection spells. So this isn't ideal, but let's see what happens. Let's Professor here. Most likely going to Spellbinder next turn. That just seems like the safest play. I kind of like getting the Academic Probation. It's just a nice little catch-all. We're going to get to see their hand with the Spellbinder, so Probation seems pretty good in case they've got a sweeper or something like that. It might just be mono black. That's cool. Let's Spellbinder first and just see what they have. They could easily just have a Heartless Act or something along those lines, but we are going to take something out of the hand here. Interesting. These Cosmos Elixirs are very good. I think we take the Intervention. Reason being, we get to do that again this coming turn, which is going to theoretically stop the Extinction event. Although I guess they can Predation. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not 100% sure what the best play here is for them. Okay, they're just going to choose to kill. And that's fine by me, actually. I mean, it's not great for us, but it's not the end of the world. We're going to choose the Extinction event here, just prolonging that inevitability of this deck, which is really the game plan for mono white against these kinds of lists, is just to prolong as much as we can. If we can do that, we're in okay shape. This is great because we just Skyclave Apparition. And now if they do choose to use the Predation, it doesn't actually do anything. We can honestly just keep this moving. Well, let's attack first. Let's do this first, obviously. And then do we want a Professor, or do we want to prolong the Cosmos Elixir? I think we just pressure. They're not going to be able to sweep this coming turn. That's just not going to happen. I'm going to take Spirit Summoning. I kind of just want to have a nice two play next turn, and we can basically say no Extinction event next turn and Spirit Summoning, which sets us up pretty nicely. They are probably just going to drop the Elixir, which is great. They could also Predation knowing that we've got the 3-drop, which really doesn't hurt my feelings all that much, but it looks like they're not going to do that. Cram Session, they could learn. I mean, they've got some options. They could also just Erebos' Intervention. Sure. Great play, for sure. Let's go ahead and attack in. I'm going to Spirit Summoning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here, I am all too happy to say Extinction Event. Just to keep them off of the win, or off of the sweep here. They would sweep for, I think, odd. Well, honestly, I don't know. They could sweep for even and get a 3-for-1, or they could sweep for odd and get the Skyclave Apparition and a 4-4. which would block more. So I could kind of see it going either way, but I think this is a decent setup. This Murderous Rider is a bit frustrating, but Selfless Savior is a card. We do get an attack in here. This is a situation where the Faceless Haven is like prime, we need it, and we just don't have it. Here, though, they can Extinction Event and wipe most of our board. Let's see what they name. Even. Okay. And there is the Faceless Haven. Okay. Then we just pass. They may have stabilized enough, honestly. Being able to 3-for-1 on the Extinction Event was really, really good. Very possible we should have gotten another Academic Probation, but I don't know. We'll see. Faceless Haven at least gives us some options here. Okay. So they do get a 4-4. That sucks, because now... Yeah, now we're in bad positions. We don't really have a whole lot to deal with it here, so... Kind of just have to hope. Kind of just have to hope. We will see, we will see. They have a free lifelinking attack here, so if they didn't take it, I would be very surprised. I mean, they might... Wow, they didn't take it. I would have been a bit more aggressive there, I think. Alright, let's Spellbinder. I mean, might as well. If they block here, it's fine. We just get to protect it. I think being aggressive is okay here. Given our life total, I'm not like worried about us just dying to the life. But they've got a lot of life gain here. That's kind of the tricky part. So unfortunately, we just don't have a whole lot we can do against it. So yeah, they get to learn again. Ugh, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think we're just gonna die. They're fiddling us out here, which is fine. Exile, okay. They don't have the mana to do it this turn. I'm trying to think what would get us to a win. Probably not much. A Maul would definitely help. Wow, I'm calling it. But here, I mean, we're still not in prime position at all. Got rid of their 4-4, which was scary, but they've got Turgid in the back here. Kind of just have to hope they can't gain life too much, which is what it is. I mean, they're gonna gain some life here. They've got Murderous Rider plus the elixir, so like they've already gained a little bit. We're not gonna be able to get them this time, I don't think. Okay. Yep. Good news is we do keep them all. Positive. But I think they just play the Lantern, maybe? I'm gonna throw the counter on the Haven. I think that's the right move. I guess, but they've got... They can't... Can they do it? Yeah, they can do it. Ugh. I'm gonna make them. But I think this is it for us. They've gained enough life, and they're gonna continue to gain enough life that we just don't have a way to deal with it. Unfortunately. Yep. I'm trying to think what we could have here, and there's not a lot. There's really not. They have gotten back up to 16 life. That is insane. I'm gonna throw it here. Shouldn't have attacked with both. It doesn't matter, we're dead. Unfortunately, that is us dead, guys. They've got a much bigger playing field than we do, given that they are gaining value every turn and we're just not. There's not a card in our deck, I believe, that would have been able to deal with that elixir, and that elixir is really the problem. So it is what it is. The only thing we could have done is drawn a professor and then reduced a memory. But even then, they still have a 4/5 Turgid out. I just didn't see it. It was a bit of a premature concession, but it's fine. We're gonna jump into probably our last game. We are 2-1 at the moment, feeling pretty good with this. It's not perfect, but we're feeling okay. This is an interesting little hand. We're gonna try it. Okay, lifelink deck is here. Happy to draw the third land, actually, because we do have some really, really strong 3s that we want to get down, so happy to see that. Let's play Luminarch Aspirant. Go ahead and get a counter on it. It just provides a nice little blocker. If they've got a Trixie kind of card, that's fine. We'll figure it out. I don't know that they do. Not sure. Oh, they just have Maul. Well, that's very good. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Not the end of the world, though. We do have the Skyclave Apparition. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's get Maul out of there. And let's put the counter there. Happy to attack in. Now they just have to remove this to be able to attack in, but crucially, if they don't, they just don't have a good attack. They may just play Heliod this turn. That's a good one. Daxos is pretty good. I like that. Cool. All right. Let's see. We've got a couple options. We could Professor plus Giant Killer, or Professor plus a lesson card. Truthfully, I just like Spellbinder the most. Let's see what they got. We'll pull Luris out. They're going to play a Heliod regardless, so that's not really something we can consider. I will play the Giant Killer. It gives us a tapper for next turn. If we put the counter here, we do get to attack in. Crucially, they could just like multi-block this, but we're just trying to knock them down a peg here. Little worried because Heliod is scary AF, but here we are. Not much we can do. It is a creature. You got it. But crucially, we do get to tap some stuff here, so we'll see. We will see. Okay. Interesting. So, how much devotion does this need? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Interesting. I think we do this. That makes Heliod not a creature. And we still have our flyer. They do get a little, you know, token, a 3/3 here, but we've got Spellbinder and some other stuff to take it out, so we'll see. Not sold on it, but we will see. So we can Academic Probation, Speaker, or Heliod. I'm gonna name speaker here. We're gonna try. I don't know if this is correct, to be honest, but it's worth a shot. Now, how do we want to place counters? I think we want to place it on the Aspirant here. And we just do this. They can double block, but they didn't. So that's good. I would have definitely killed Daxos other than the 3/3, but we're just keeping them out of range for speaker. I mean, we're not in great shape here, but the second Heliod is useless to them. They cannot play Lurrus yet, and Lurrus really only gets another speaker, which is good, but it's not that helpful. They do get some attacks in here if they would like to throw some counters around. I'm thinking we might lose, but we'll see. We will see, we will see, we will see. I mean, we can double block here. I'm actually kind of okay with it. It's not great. We're probably just gonna die, but that's fine. Okay. I don't love losing the Giant Killer, but Giant Killer really doesn't do a ton against a wide board anyway. So I think that's fine. Okay. Alseid. That's interesting. All right, so let's Spellbinder. Yes, we get Daxos out of there. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Throw out the Alseid. Again, just keeping them out of range of the speaker. I think we're basically dead here, to be honest. I'm thinking through the possibilities, and I just don't see a lot of options for us. Oh, and that makes it a lot worse. Yeah, we are super dead here, I think. They're going to get to basically combo off. They can give something lifelink. Ugh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're dead. We're super dead. We got a 4/7. Yeah, guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it. We're pretty dead there. I also just have to jump off. So unfortunately, guys, that is going to be the end. We're ending on a 2-2 record, though, which isn't terrible. I think given some better draws, I think we would have been much better off there, but it is what it is. I think overall, this deck is really well positioned in the best of one ladder. I think it's a really fun deck, and it got some really cool new tools. Lessons in general are really fun to play with, and the Spellbinder is just super solid. So I really enjoy it. I highly recommend trying this deck out if you have not already, and I hope you enjoyed this gameplay. If you did, please leave a like or a comment down below. We'd greatly appreciate it. It means a lot to us. We'll see you guys very soon for another gameplay video.